Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Upper Tier podcast. It's that in between Christmas and New Year feel. It's kind of a Thursday tier talk. We will be covering most of what we do, but we will be talking about some other stuff as well. And we'll have a little chat about how some of the teams in the higher end of the league and stuff are doing halftime kind of little reports and stuff like that. I did get an update today from the AFCON as well, Darren, our favourite tournament to cover. Just a little, did a little slide up showing what players are going, so who's kind of most exposed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Little prelude into our coverage of the AFCON that we love and so dearly.
Does a serious amount of footballers leave the Premier League to play AFCON?
While you see the slide, we will have to go full screen, trust me.
Yeah.
So if you're good, folks, subscribe to the
unbelievable.
channel. Hit the bell notification and drop a like on the video, of course. Just to keep you updated, 71 minutes gone in the Brighton Spurs game, 3-0 to Brighton. Unbelievable. Darren, little fact for you there that came through earlier about Brighton. 19 goals in 2023 for Brighton have been scored by teens. And that's by teens. And that's 14 more than the next team closest to them. 14
That's impressive.
more. That's incredible.
That's
good stat,
impressive.
isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
Just
Trying to
to let
think
you know.
here, the boy Hinselwood, Evan Ferguson, Adingra. There's a few of them there, are we?
If you like, I could get you now. I can tell you. I think I have the list as well. Let me see. Can I bring up the list? Because it's a very impressive stat, to be honest.
It sure is.
Evan Ferguson in Ciso.
Yeah, Julio and Ciso. Yeah.
Buenanote and Hinchelwood.
Hinchelwood, yeah. And not did I not name so? I thought Adingra was only 19, but maybe he's not.
No, apparently Evan Ferguson with 11 them, 4 for Ciso. Buenanote has 2 and Hinchelwood has 2. 1 of course scored tonight. Very impressive stat. Very impressive stat to put out there. Also in the Arsenal game, 45 plus 5 at the moment, on the verge of half time there. 1-0 to West Ham, to goal by Souček after a VAR check about the ball potentially being out. Very like the Newcastle situation.
Just from your own point of view, in or out?
I'd always favour the forward, so for me, in.
Thought I looked out myself, I got to be honest.
It very much looks out, but you can see, I've said it before, and we said it, I think, after the Newcastle game, remember? With Arsenal, I think it was. They should extend the goal line technology right across to the corner flags.
100%. It's very easy done.
Yeah, I spoke to Morris about it as well. It's absolutely crazy. But look, sure, it is what it is.
I think, as you say, when you wanted the forward teams to get the run of things, it's got to be a clear and obvious error, and it wasn't clear and obvious. Yeah. If you look at 14 VAR frames, see if the ball's over the line, it's not clear and obvious.
The problem is with the end line as well is the player generally is always going to be in the way, isn't he? So it's very hard to get a side on it.
And if the lineo's on the other side and can get a look at it, then your problem is it's the posts are in the way.
Exactly. So it has to be. They have to put in the goal line technology.
Penalty for Brighton.
Penalty for Brighton, so probably 4-0 here.
Penalty for Brighton. Giovanni Lo Celso on Evan Ferguson, I think. Ferguson gets the ball, drops the shoulder, and Lo Celso comes into the back of him very awkwardly. Like, he's got no opportunity to win the ball there. That's a really silly challenge from an Argentinian international in Giovanni Lo Celso.
Yeah, in fairness to Brighton, if you look at the first half, they could have had another 1 or 2 as well. Like, they were pretty good. Like,
Ferguson's only on the pitch and he's won this penalty. Now, is he going to take it? No, he's not going to take it by the looks of it. The boy João Pedro, who assisted Hinchelwood's goal, he then scored a penalty himself, has the ball in his hands. So it could be 2 goals and an assist for João Pedro if he can put this one away. I don't know if you remember, Niall, way back when the Premier League started in August, I spoke this lad up quite a bit, especially for fantasy football, because of how cheap he was. And he didn't have a good start. They're looking at offside now. He's on. And they're looking at offside, but I think the Brighton player is onside. He hadn't got a great start to the season. He was a bit slow out of the traps, but he's making up for it now, I have to tell you.
Yeah,
He's a really good footballer, this lad.
I think on our preview for the kick-off to the season, we said he was one to watch, remember? we highlighted them
Yeah,
as one to watch going into that Brighton side and stuff. So, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. So, keep us posted.
yeah.
Let us know if it goes in.
It's been given. He's standing up to it. Ref has the whistle in his hands. Just hold him on my whistle. 1, 2, 3. 3 steps back, and we can see the boy Vicario now. He's a big keeper. Referee blows the whistle, and he gives Vicario the eyes to go left, and he spins it back the opposite side. 4-0, João Pedro with 2,
Awesome.
and Brighton absolutely hammering nails in to the Tottenham coffin tonight.
You'd fail for Spurs if you cared enough about them, wouldn't you? Just
I
saying.
know a couple
That's
of people who really don't care about Spurs. Our pals Morris and Eno, they're two lads that really do not like Spurs. So,
love it.
yeah, they'll be enjoying this.
Right, let's get into the chat. Chat's building up here. We got a few. Daz is in. Big up, Daz. How are you, my friend? Hope you had a good Christmas. I was talking to them all last night.
Hey,
Henry's
Daz.
in. What's
Hey,
the crack,
Henry.
Niall? Hiya, Dazzler. Big up, Daz. Daz is in. Big up, Henry. Hope you're well today, my friend. Absolutely. I'm fine, Daz. How's you? West Ham 1-0 half time. Happy days. Nigel, Hammer's playing very well. Forget that there. 1 up. Absolutely. Baz is in. Evening, lads. What's the crack? Nice trim, Niall. Oh, cheers, pal. Told you I was gonna go for. I think I mentioned it to him earlier when he rang me. Crazy that Bryce Eagles Wanderers are 3 up against Bryce Eagles Wanderers. Love it, love it. Evening, Barry. How are you, Daz? I am okay, Henry. Taking a break till the kids go back for videos. Absolutely. Hi, Nigel. Brighton 4-0 up. That's what we want to hear. Okay, cool, Daz.
Yep.
Good to see you guys, by the way. Hope everyone had a lovely Christmas, and to all you people in the chat, hope you had a brilliant Christmas
Absolutely.
or whatever you celebrate. Hope you're enjoying the food and the drink and everything else and having a good time. Joanne's in. How are you, Joanne? Hope you had a lovely Christmas, Joanne. The cats and all that kind of stuff. Hope it was a stellar one. Hope you spoiled them. Don't worry, Spurs will get a result against United in the next Premier League game. Now, Acers, your predictions haven't been good as of late. Remember that Villa one? Just
They
saying.
never
Hiya,
are.
Joanne.
They never are.
Dazzler, should you have had a penalty on Monday? Nice, Henry.
Should we had a penalty on Monday?
Do you think
Tuesday
Brentford
means.
could? Yeah, it would have been Tuesday, wouldn't it? Wouldn't have been Monday.
Wouldn't have been Monday. Monday was Christmas
Would have
Day.
been,
We'd nothing on.
would have been Tuesday. St.
Yeah.
Stephen's Day, not Boxing Day.
Depends what part of
Henry
the
in.
world you're from, doesn't it?
It does. Do you think Brentford could beat or draw City? Not a chance. Brentford are in the absolute mud. And we will be having a conversation very soon about Thomas Frank, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
It'll be a frank and honest conversation, let's be honest.
Absolutely. And I think there, if I can remember from the slide, I think they're one of the teams that is heavily represented in the AFCON. Am I right? I think maybe, I'm not sure.
They should have 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, we'll check out the list later anyway when we go down through it. Joanna's in. Don't bother looking at the Arsenal matches. It's dull as dishwater. Watching the arrows on my TV, you on my phone. Love that, Daz. I tell you, very high quality the arrows this season. I tell you, some amount of heavy scoring.
I haven't seen one match of darts yet, other than what I see on my social media feed. I haven't managed to see one live, which is very strange because I usually watch quite a lot of it, but haven't had the minute so far.
What I've noticed this year, and Daz might back me up on it, I'm not too sure, but there's a huge level of very high checkouts as well as high 180s as well. Huge. Excuse me, a little bit of a cough. Nigel, I'm still trying to work out how we are top. My best guess is because we're Liverpool. Opposition are afraid of us, understandable. I think it's difficult for the opposition to watch videos before. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Or maybe just don't talk like we're on top. Just say nothing. Allow Henry the Arsenal match is boring. Absolutely. Morris is in. I don't know what's worse, the best league in the world not being able to tell when a ball is out of play, or Ange the fraud just popping in at halftime. Happy New Year. How are you, Morris? Could that Cheshire Grim be any wider? No, it can't. Absolutely not. It's going our way tonight, but again, it can all change. But nice to see Spurs getting pumped anyway. Again, because we don't seem to be playing normal football. Acer's in. Dermot Gallagher was saying that Liverpool should have been awarded 2 penalties against United and Arsenal. Not too sure about United, but the Arsenal one was definitely a shout. We will get into it. Can't understand why Martin Odegaard was allowed to become a basketball player for a day and it wasn't awarded, but however, we will look at it. Sky Sports are showing darts World Championships for free. Yeah, absolutely. Normal Liverpool football. That's like what? Luke Littler, yeah. Luke, see this guy, Luke Littler, this little small one. See the video
I've
that came out
seen
today?
a little bit of him, yeah.
Did you see the video that came out today of him throwing the darts and he's like either 18 months or 2 years old or something?
No,
Have you seen that one?
I
Oh
haven't
my
seen that
God.
one.
I see this. He has like one of the felt dart boards, you know, with the flat-headed darts, no points. And you want to see him throwing the darts. Daz might have seen it. Unbelievable.
Spurs get a goal back.
Sure, it's not hard.
4-1.
Our favourite
And
bit.
thankfully, it looks like pointing about score. Thankfully, it looks like it's Son with the assist, which will keep some fantasy football Premier League managers happy. Son cuts it back. That's a great cutback. Son, very good. And it's Vélez, I think, is his name. Is the Argentinian lad, the Spurs. He's a forward player at Spurs. There, he takes it well enough, touching him, hits it into the ground, past Steele. Good finish. Drags it waiting. Nice goal.
That's right. That's right, Daz. He is only 16, but I seen a video today that they put out. It was on Twitter, and I think he was only 2. And you want to see him throwing the darts at this. You know the old felt dart board starting with the flat.
Yes.
You know the Velcro ones. Man, you
Yeah.
want to see him stepping up, and he's leaning on one leg like he's on the hockey and all, and throwing them, and he's about 2. He's
Now,
in a
the
nappy,
other-
like, you want to see him?
The other thing I saw was a picture of him earlier on, and it was how he was on his way into the lift earlier on, and one of the security said, "Luke, these lads want to grab a picture with you." It was Aaron Ramsdale and Declan Rice.
Very good.
He was delighted with himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Eddie Howe, New Year's, Dad, hammering incoming. Could happen, all right. Will Ange
New
Postecoglou
Year's
be
Day, I'd
sacked?
say that was it.
No,
Will Ange
no,
be
yeah.
sacked? Absolutely not.
Yeah, New Year's Day, absolutely not. No chance of that. Right, let's get into the Premier League preview. Let's get into that to start with anyway. And we're starting out. I've gone right through as far as I could go in relation to New Year. So we start off Luton versus Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think this is going to be an easy day at the office for Chelsea. We've seen how they've made a lot of games look very difficult lately. And Luton at home have been an absolute force at Kenilworth so far this season. Very, very unlucky with it to be nipped off a couple of times, you know, by kind of Liverpool and Arsenal and stuff like that, to not get the results maybe that they deserve. But I think this is going to be a real tough game. I don't think Chelsea will love it there one little bit. And I could see Luton getting something out of this. And I'm going to go 2-2 on this.
2-2. Yep, could be easily. Yeah, Luton definitely will feel like they should have probably more points than they have now at this stage with the shifts.
Absolutely, especially from the home games. There's a little There's a little nod to that game in my bet later on. One of my bets.
Very good. Joanna's in. She's going to Luton with a 2-0 win. Nice. Chelsea will beat Luton according to Acer, so definitely bank on Luton to get the win there. Luton to win. Want to see them bedwetters cry. Love it, Henry. That's 1-1. Morris and Jackson. Not a bad shout at all. Next up, Aston Villa versus Burnley.
Yeah, this is gonna be Villa trying to get the train back on the tracks after the other night. You know, gotta say it wasn't necessarily a game of two halves, because I did think for the first 30 minutes Villa were very, very good, but I thought after that we really came at them and took control of the game and played some of the best football we've played in a long time. Knocked the ball around, created chance after chance after chance, and it almost looked like stuff we've seen previously, not maybe stuff that we've seen under Ten Hag, which was great. I had a really upset boy at half time. We're obviously on the school holiday, so I told Brody could stay up and watch the match. I said, listen, you can watch till half time. 2-0 at half time. I hadn't got the heart to send him to bed because obviously you were losing 2-0. I said, come on, you can sit in the bed and watch it with Dad. Anyway, when the third went in, I thought he was going to take the roof off the gaff, He's bouncing around on the bed. He's like, Dad, we did it, Dad, we did it, I'm thinking, there's about 10 more minutes left, kid. Don't start singing, the way we defend. Jesus Christ.
Imagine him
But,
up. Was he up on the couch? Rasmus.
oh, he was on the bed and he was doing the knee slides on the bed, Highland and I gotta say, I'm delighted for the kid. Spurs just made it 4-2. Spurs have just made it 4-2.
86 minutes. Don't tell me it was
here.
Richarlison.
No, he's gone off the pitch, but I'll tell you what, it's the second assist to help me with fantasy football. Pedro Porro with the ball in and Ben Davis with the header. Let's see now, is he off?
An unlikely pairing to score.
No, he's okay. It's a header at the back stick. There's 85 minutes on the clock. It's 4-2. Spurs of 5 minutes, plus we'll have minimum of another 5 added on. This could be close. Could be close. And
Brighton, for Brighton to get another 2.
No, Brighton have kind of stepped back a little bit now and look like they're trying to protect what they have, and this isn't what brought them to the ball game. This is a bad idea. The Spurs lads are surrounding them on the centre circle, waiting for the Brighton tip, and there's about 6 or 7 of them ready to charge this ball. This is full tilt football here.
Give us your Villa Burley.
He hasn't blown the whistle. They're still looking at an offside here. No, go off you go. He said, blow. Yeah, we're away.
Give us your Villa Burley.
Villa and both to score. I think Burnley again have obviously found the net in the last couple of games, and they always create Burnley. The issue for them has been, they haven't been able to score enough goals. The Burnley's top player at the minute for me, I don't know if you've seen much of Burnley, is the boy Trafford, the goalkeeper. He's been absolutely phenomenal.
He was man of the match for them the other day against us.
Yeah, he's just been tops. He really has.
We should have been 4 or 5 up at half time.
A guy that could very easily find his way into an England squad, I would imagine, if he can keep that kind of form up.
And do you know what I was thinking the other day watching him, Darren? He's not a big lad either. But he's extremely agile.
He's 6'5".
No, but I mean in terms of, I mean size. I don't mean tall. I mean size.
You can put your hands around his waist.
Yeah, he's not
very slender. No. Yeah, exactly. You're right. He's very, very, very durable. Very, very durable.
Yeah.
Spurs on the attack here. They have a free kick just outside the box. Pedro Porro stepping up, hand up, pointing to the back stick where he wants it. Ball comes in. It's not a great ball, is it? No, it's not. Oh, okay.
Palace Brentford.
Keep looking here. Palace Brentford.
Both managers under serious pressure.
So for me, I got to be honest, Thomas Frank's under much more pressure than Roy Hodgson. For me, I think obviously Tony's a huge miss. But if we look at the fact that Tony's been such a huge miss, and then we hear comments coming out the other day from the sporting director of Brentford where he talks about, Tony might have to move on in January and stuff like that. Not good news coming out of the club there at all. If I'm a Brentford fan, or for Thomas Frank himself. Again, if I'm trying to save my job, I want my best players on the pitch. I don't want my sporting director saying the best player we've had over the last couple of seasons looks like he's heading towards the door. There's a bit of recruitment needed at Brentford at the minute. Need to shore up that central defence and stuff like that, and need to get scoring goals again. That's been a huge problem for them this season. I see Palace getting something out of this. And again, I'm going to give you a little nod to me bet later on. I have Palace to win this 2-1.
Palace to win 2-1. Interesting.
Yeah.
I believe I read a report today. Did I hear that your man is a Parish, the guy who runs Crystal Palace, the chairman, is it?
Steve Parish, yeah.
Steve Parish. I believe he entered the changing room after the game the other day, which is never a good sign.
No.
We'll see what happens.
No, never a good sign. Now, obviously, the owner before Parish was Simon Jordan.
Yeah.
Parish is a very similar looking type of guy, white Caucasian, privately skilled, educated, hair flick and stuff like that, But I don't like the idea of chairman heading towards dressing rooms. It's not a good look. Oh, it's bounced around. Is that a pen? Oh, checking a penalty here. Checking a penalty here. This is going to be looked at. This could be a handball. This could be a handball in the Brighton box.
I'm not even messing
So,
here. If Brighton throw this away, De Zerbi should be sacked.
Spurs are absolutely all over them here. Are we looking at that handball now? Doesn't look to be. We don't ball into Son. Son's holding it up. Right, keep going. Yeah, City next for me. City, I think, will again struggle on 9 minutes of added time here. This is going to be if Spurs hit it. Oh, come back. One more. Oh, Jesus. Kulusevski, little ball into Kulusevski, takes a touch, and he's basically one-on-one with the keeper, but he's at a really tight angle. Instead of shooting, he cuts the ball back on the angle, and it travels too far past the far post. So when the player gets it there, he touches it, and one of the Brighton lads stands in front. Spurs are laying it on thick here. This is like Miracle Whip. Cut it
Come on,
back.
Brighton.
Oh my God, this is... Now here's the other thing.
Like
Spurs are touch. What? Oh my God, that would have been... Who was that? Is that the boy? There's a boy with a pair of gloves on here. It could be the boy Velas that got the goal. It is the boy Velas that got the goal. Ball just came into him, takes a touch on the outside. Henry's a little bit behind.
No, I'm behind on the comments. Henry's spot on.
Oh, sorry, all right. The boy Velas takes a little touch on his right foot, pokes it around the defender, and Steele comes out to smother. This ain't over by a long chalk. We got about
Darren.
7.5 left.
Which make it at Acers. Crazy that 30 years ago, Diego Forlan scored his first United goal against Villa at Old Trafford. 30 years later,
and that was to win it as well, by the way, because that was to win it because I was at the game. That was an absolute thunderbolt from about 25 yards, and it quivered on its way past the keeper.
14 years ago, Johnny Evans celebrated 3-2 victory against Villa.
Yeah, that was the Federico Makeda goal.
Acer's doing his homework for you. Doing his homework, huh?
Yeah, there we go, Nigel. 100%. That Burnley goalkeeper, definitely a future England goalkeeper. Absolutely.
You get me City, Sheffield United, did you?
This stage, because don't forget, you've Jordan Pickford, Pope is out injured at the minute, and you've Ramsdale not playing games. This kid Trafford could nab a spot for himself going to the Euros.
Yeah, Southgate would be too scared to make a decision like that. Give us your Man City. Did you give me Man City, Sheffield United to your score?
Did I give? Bit of shithousery going on here. The board goes up to say that João Pedro's going off the pitch. Now, João Pedro, don't forget, the Brazilian, yeah?
Yeah.
Giovanni Lo Celso runs over to help him off the pitch, puts the hand up and starts whispering in his ear, and Pedro turns around, has a little bite out of him back, and they end up having to drag him off at the sideline. The RG and the Brazilian, not forgetting too much, any of these boys.
Morris is always Arsenal on cue, coming out of Voices by Randy Orton. There you go. Wolves versus Everton.
Sorry, I didn't give you a City score. I think City will win, but I don't necessarily think it'll be 4-0. I think Sheffield United have looked very, very dangerous of late, and are creating a lot more chances. Now, obviously, it's a different kettle of fish playing City at the Etihad, but we know at times City can give away chances. Can Sheffield United take one? I think they might, and I'm going to go for City 3-1.
Do I? Hence a McBurney goal scorer, I bet, coming up or something, do I?
No, not McBurney, but touch. Wow.
He did very well the other night when he came on, actually. Wolves are improving. I think they can beat the Blues.
We gotta remember, we're talking about Wolves all season about how they didn't necessarily get the results they were after, and now they started to pick up the results that their performances deserved. Gary O'Neill doing a fantastic job at Wolves after a fantastic job at Bournemouth, by the way. So Gary O'Neill really putting himself in the picture for any of those kind of decent jobs that will be coming up over the next 18 months. If you're an owner and you're looking for a ball down the left-hand side, who's that? A doggy. Cuts it back. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, and he's cleared it off the line. Who
Love
hits
it.
the beans? Who hits the beans? He cuts the ball back, right? Shows it now. He's taking a quick, hang on, we're looking at something. We're looking at a possible handball. Hang on. We're looking at a
Okay.
possible penalty. The ball, Pedro Porro. No, that you're not getting a handball for that. He's taking it. Falling. Oh, Spurs hit the post. The boy Udogie got the ball and pulled it back to one of the Spurs players on the edge of the area. I'm not sure which of them it was. He opened up on his right foot and curled it to the back stick. It hit the post, fell out to Hallberg. Hallberg tried to hit it kind of first time, and Estepina, who got the third goal, jumped across the front of it and blocked it, but he blocked it with his two hands wrapped behind his back. Luckily, if his hand's out, he's giving a penalty away. This is phenomenal.
Acers
Who hits
reckons
the
Morris
first
should
one?
be. Acers reckons Morris should be the Arsenal DJ. Should have played MC Hammer time.
Sorry, I'm wrong. Hallberg hits the first one, which hits the post, and the ball falls out to my boy Pedro Porro from Fantasy Football, and the ball is arrowing into the net, and Pervis Estepina gets across the front of it and kind of chests it out for the corner. De Zerbi's on the sideline here. 96 minutes gone. He's trying to rally the troops. Spurs still in with a shout if they get one in the next minute.
His hair's gone as grey as Henry's on Sky Sports. Is it at this
Nah, he
stage?
looks all right. He looks slick as fuck. Does De Zerbi? I
Yeah.
got to tell you. I'd say he has Alan throwing the knickers at me all day, every week.
Give us your Wolves versus Everton score.
Wolves Everton is going to be an attritional game of football. It won't necessarily be free flowing. It won't necessarily be end to end stuff. Get in. Oh, you hit the side net. Who's that? Son. Oh, big chance. 96 and a half minutes on the clock. Ball to the back stick. Little dink. Son comes in. Little volley. He side foots the volley into the side netting. And Brighton breed, and Son has his head in his hands because I think he realises if he scores there, there's going to be a few extra minutes and they could get something out of this. But now it looks like Steele is going to clear this up the pitch and it'll take the sting out of it if Brighton can win a free or something like that. Sorry, back to Wolves and Everton. I'm loving this. I have to be honest with you now. I'm going to put the Arsenal game on after
I'm
this.
gonna have to put a different thumbnail on here or something. Arsenal, West Ham, Brighton, Tottenham. Watch along.
Wolves and Everton. I'm gonna go 1-1. But I'm gonna go like it's just gonna be attritional. They're gonna run, they're gonna run 7 bells of shot out of each other. These boys. It's gonna be headers. It's gonna be clearances off the line. It's gonna be everything because that's how their managers want them to play. And I gotta say, big props to the two managers, Sean Dyche and Gary O'Neill, who are getting really good tune out of their teams at the minute.
Yep. Forest versus United.
Yeah, gotta be honest, not really the place you want to go, is it, at the minute? Obviously, Chris Wood getting his hat-trick the other day, Anthony Elanga causing a bit of trouble there for Newcastle, and he's put it back. Oh, is he... Ball's fall? Oh, Spurs are just all over them. That's a free as well, Ferguson. This isn't going to be an easy game, I gotta be honest, but I think United will just get over the line here again. I don't think it'll be pretty, but I think they'll get over the line and they'll keep the ball rolling. I'm going to go 2-1 United on that one.
Acers saying 1-1 draw. That Borland goal was an equaliser. 1-1 draw, Acers are saying.
Was it an equaliser?
The one from earlier, yeah.
I thought it was to make it 2-1.
There was 9 minutes added on. They're in the 10th minute now, Das.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Everton on the up played well first half against arguably the best cheating football team on planet Earth.
Gotta be honest. Really, really happy if Everton managed to take the points deduction and stay up. Huge.
Yeah, I think they will. I don't think they're in any trouble, to be honest. I think they scored, and they were very unlucky against City as well. Like that was a very unlucky penalty that they gave away.
Yeah.
So Joanne's gone 2-2 Wolves and Everton. Interesting. Daz has gone for a 1-0 to the Everton. Fulham could get something at home to Arsenal. Fulham versus Arsenal, Daz?
Yeah, I don't think that's a foregone conclusion. Fulham been in very, very good form of late. Arsenal haven't been, but have been just getting over the line. Oh, I think that's the last hurrah there. It's the boy Brian Hill, who has been very good since he came on for Spurs on this left-hand side. Created an awful lot. And just checked onto his left side, opened the goal up for himself, and just plays it over the bar. 100 minutes on the clock here. That'll be the end of it for me. I switch on the tube and see two handsome devils cast this melody. Fulham Arsenal. Yeah, I think Arsenal will get over the line, but I don't think it'll be pretty. I think it'll be one of them scraping a victory, and it'll be 2-1 to Arsenal.
Love it, Nigel. MC Hammer can't touch this. What a classic.
That's
All right,
it.
Mark. How are we? Hi, Mark.
Stomper.
Bonkers is in. 0-1 Man United. Fulham 1, Arsenal 3. Spurs 2, Bournemouth 2. And Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0. He's going for. We just did Fulham versus Arsenal, did we?
We did. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Tottenham versus Bournemouth.
And on my TV, just to confirm, the game is finished now.
It is finished. It's full time, 4-2 to Brighton.
Full time. That means I need to now get the remote control and put on another channel. Beep. Hang on. Stay with me.
Take your time.
Stay with me, because I bet this Arsenal game is going to be a good crack now as well.
Should be. It's now 2-0 to West Ham, by the way.
Oh my God, it's 2-0.
2-0 to West Ham, yeah. Mavropanos, is that how you pronounce it?
Costas Mavropanos, the centre-back, must be from a corner. Must be from a corner. It's the only time he'd be near the Arsenal box. And if I'll keep that there.
heads the ball home, so it must have been, yeah.
Yeah, if it's not from a corner, it's obviously from the secondary from the corner, where the corner is cleared and he stays up, and it's because generally he wouldn't be near the box otherwise. This could be a huge result for David Moyes and West Ham if they could do it.
Yeah, Joanne, Ben White, he must have got the old Tannen vouchers for Christmas or something like that. He's stuck into them big time.
He's so tanned, he almost looks like Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Tottenham Bournemouth here?
Tottenham Bournemouth, yeah. Bournemouth in great form. Solanke's going to cause Tottenham a wee bit of trouble, methinks. But again, I think at home Spurs are a different animal, and I think Spurs will just get over that line. I'm going to say Spurs 3-1. 3-2. 3-2 to Spurs.
Speaking of potential inclusions in an England squad, Dom Solanke.
100%. 100%.
Doing well, isn't he?
Yeah. Sure is.
Absolutely.
The only thing I think might stall on that for them is the fact that you've got Tony on the way back, and I think himself and Tony are two very similar strikers. Now I think if he can keep this going to the end of the season, he'll get a look in. But I think if Tony comes back and starts scoring goals, or maybe even gets a move to a bigger team and starts scoring goals, he'll do enough to keep Solanke at bay, unless there's an injury somewhere in that squad, Yeah,
I think everyone knows myself and Darren's thoughts on Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse with the assist.
We're very big fans of Ward-Prowse and stuff
like
that. Excellent player.
He's got the best dead ball in the league for my money. I know you might argue with that a little bit, but and rightly so.
I won't argue with it, and I'll tell you why, because I was one of very few Liverpool fans in the summer, if you remember, that was quite happy when we were linked to Ward-Prowse when everyone else was slagging him off.
And throwing their toys out of pram over being linked with a guy like that.
I'll have Ward-Prowse all day long in that Liverpool squad.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Yeah.
And when we were losing our mind about other players. Liverpool versus Newcastle.
This is one of the good ones, isn't it? This takes us back to the L4-3 days at Anfield.
Collymore and Fowler and all those good ones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Shay Gibbons, Steve Harper, Faustino Asprey, all the boys, David Ginola, Les Ferdinand. Listen, this is Liverpool about to score for me. This is Liverpool about to score. I think Newcastle of late have looked a little bit dicey at the back, but I think the returning Sven Botman might have something to say about that for me. Outside of the traditional, say, top four, if you think City, if you think Liverpool, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, stuff like that. Outside of that, for me, I got to say the boy Botman's the best centre back in the league. He's phenomenal. Really is phenomenal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a big move somewhere, maybe to like an Arsenal or maybe somewhere like that. He's a top footballer. Got to be honest.
Yeah, this is Mo Salah's last game, obviously before the AFCON, but it's also an opportunity for him to actually hit that 150 mark for Liverpool goals in the
Yes,
league. He just needs one
and
more, as far as I know. So
I think it's ideal to come against Newcastle because it will be an open game.
yeah, absolutely.
It will be an open game. It'll be end to end. It'll be, there'll be goals, there'll be chances, and I think that suits Liverpool at the minute. And because I think at the minute you guys need an awful lot of chances to score for some reason. But
Yeah.
I think you'll do enough to get over the line here against Newcastle. About to score Liverpool 3-2.
Perfect. I'll take that all day. Marky's in. Only 362 days till Christmas, folks. Fulham
Thanks,
3,
Marky.
Arsenal 0. When you're going in right there, Fulham 3, Arsenal 0. All right, lads. He's going 3-2 to the Arsenal dads. Yeah, I think it'd be something. It'd be tight, but I think that's what they'll do. Great live updates, guys. Absolutely. That's all
Loving it.
Darren. It's not me. I'm just checking it here as I'm going along. Darren's actually visually looking at it. Henry's
sure
going for Spurs 1, Bournemouth 1. I think Bournemouth could do something in this. I think Bournemouth are just outstanding at the moment. Spurs 2-1. Joanne's going 2-2 in the Bournemouth game. Good shout, Joanne. Arsenal are a shower of shit. Fair enough, Joanne. Still plenty of time, though. 63 minutes to go. Anything can happen. Acers is blowing bubbles. He's forever blowing bubbles. There you go. Liverpool 1, Newcastle 2. Don't say that, Joanne. 4-1 Liverpool against Newcastle. That's what I want to hear, Henry. The Volcano Walsh explosion guard on speed dial. Coyle, I'd say he's absolutely going mad. Daz is going for a 3-1 win to the Reds. We will take that all day. Nigel, West Ham defence is excellent. Absolutely. And long may it continue. Dazzler, who's your ref for Saturday? I wouldn't have a clue. And
Let me tell you.
Bournemouth will edge a win against Spurs. We'd like that, Keith, wouldn't we? That would be perfect. Perfect. Not Joanne Smith. Absolutely no way, Joanne. Nigel, not agreeing with you there.
Tim Robinson.
There you go.
One of the lesser lights in the league.
There you
go. Tim
go.
Robinson.
I was listening to the Brighton game earlier I was listening to, and the linesman on this side he's the oldest linesman, I think, the oldest official at the moment in the Premier League pool, if you like. And they were saying this man is excellent. And he flagged, I think, Joe Pedro offside, and he was a mile onside, and they gave the offside. And I was thinking, what a conundrum. They just turn around and go, this man always gets it right. They were saying on commentary, he's the oldest official in the pool and all this kind of thing. And next thing you showed that he was at least about 6 inches onside, and they flagged him offside, and I just thought it was hilarious.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right now as we speak. Good save from Areola, yeah. Done well so far, Areola. Tell you what I am going to do, though. Now is the time.
Here as well.
Now is the time I'm going to nip in and look for prices. Betting and play. Arsenal to win the game are 9-1. Arsenal to get a draw are 15-4. 15-4.
Well, speaking of West Ham and Brighton,
which is almost 4-1 on the draw now.
Yeah. I'm not too sure you want to do that. Zinchenko off, Reece Nelson on, and Martinelli off, and Eddie Nketiah on. Yeah, so Arsenal are definitely going for it.
Arsenal are going for it here, but
I don't
know. How bright of an idea is it to make those type of subs? Do you know what I mean?
I probably would have made one and held off on one.
Absolutely,
for about 10 minutes and see what happens.
The boy Zinchenko's excellent. Like I don't know why you would take him off. His delivery's very good and stuff like that. It's a strange one. They've already conceded twice. It's not necessarily going to be any easier when you've only got 3 defenders on the pitch. Oh, the guard.
I think earlier he was off.
Wow. Get in. Oh, no. Martin Odegaard, what he does here is just phenomenal. He plays a little ticky-tacky with himself in the box. He's got 4 West Ham players around him, and he's literally playing 1-2s with himself inside this little square. He looks to play the ball to the left, and as he does, he pokes it with his right foot towards the byline. Ben White comes in, dinks it to the far post. Gabriel Jesus comes in, unmarked at the back stick, and heads it over the bar. If that's a goal, by the way, what Martin Odegaard just did was out of this world. Like, it would have been, Jesus, you'd have been looking at that at one of the greats. Really, really was. Starts playing little ticky-tacky passes to himself in the middle of 4 West Ham players, like he's playing a game of little heads and volleys on his own. Unbelievable.
There you go.
Wow.
West Ham versus Brighton.
Yeah, so at the minute it looks like Brighton, who've just beaten Spurs, and West Ham, who are on the verge of beating City. So really, really interesting to see what happens. I do know, excuse me, I do know Brighton have a pretty good record at the London Stadium, and I'm gonna go score draw. I'm gonna go score draw on this one. I think again we'll see goals. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 2-2 or something like that.
Yeah, West Ham at the moment up to 6th. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Hard to believe only a few short months ago they were talking about Moyes should be sacked. Remember?
It's baffling. It's baffling. Really is.
Absolutely. Right. Want to get your thoughts on this. Obviously, the Sir Jim Ratcliffe era has begun.
Yes.
Moved in. We haven't kind of seen the effects of it or anything that yet. Don't necessarily want to think about now. I did see the comment from Dean Saunders giving out about Brails. Is it Brailsford? What's his name? Brails?
David Brailsford.
Brailsford. Giving out about David Brailsford because he was a cycling guy and not a football guy, but we know he's like it's a sports elite thing. It doesn't matter what the sport is. If you're
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so I thought it was a bit stupid today, and I kind of retweeted it out as well that Saunders was talking out of his absolute backside about it. To be honest,
100%.
Didn't have done his work on it.
As we spoke about before, David Brailsford's a fine margins guy. He's a guy that's going to get you 5 or 6% in 3 or 4 different areas, and all of a sudden your team is subsequently a much better team. This is what he's been able to do and stuff like that in the sports world over the years, and that's what the hope will be at Manchester United.
Yeah, and I'd imagine to try and get a cycling team to peak is a heck of a job to try and achieve as well, considering the sport that it is and stuff like that and all,
Absolutely.
Talk to me. Where do you see this going? What would you be expecting from United? Project yourself 12 months forward and talk to me about where you kind of see it. I don't want to talk about now because I know there's a lot of settling and a lot of stuff and changes and
Thanks.
Even with all these changes that they're going to bring in and stuff like that, you're going to see maybe some wins and then a loss and then a couple of draws and some wins. You're still going to be a bit haphazard, I'd imagine. With the changes till they settle. So give it 12 months. 12 months from now, where do you see this as a project, where it's at and stuff?
Where do I see it, or where would I like to see it?
No, where do you think it's going to be? We know where you want to see it. You're going to be top of the league and in the championship.
No.
But you know what I mean. Practically, where do you see it?
Okay, things I want to see. So this time next year, I still want Eric Ten Hag to be in charge. That for me would be important. I think that would be a step in the right direction, because that would mean, he's been backed as the manager. And it was mean maybe the foundations of the club have kind of solidified in the background and stuff. We need decisions at Manchester United to be made a lot more with the footballing side of things in mind, rather than the financial side of things. So that's important. We know we've got to live within financial fair play. So I don't necessarily expect us to go and spend 150 million in January. I don't think that'll happen at all. I think if we get one in, I'd be surprised. But I think I know he wants to get one in. He's looking for somebody to replace a Jadon Sancho, maybe, some sort of a forward or a winger that tucks in, something like that. But I don't imagine much more than that unless we were able to get rid of guys and get big money in, the likes of your Varans and your Casemiros and stuff like that, to Saudi, and maybe then you can get guys in the building. If not, then I don't see a whole lot. Um, it'll be looking towards,
Summer.
the summer transfer window, and to try and make the recruitment process a little bit smoother, and to try and nail down those targets very, very early, and go looking for targets that are attainable and that will improve the team and the squad and will keep things balanced. And even from a financial point of view, like transfers that make sense to us, like 100 million on Anthony doesn't make sense, regardless of how good a player he is. It just doesn't make sense. And we need to look at things like that and make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that we've made over the last number of years.
Absolutely. Nigel's right. He isn't a astute businessman. There's no doubt about it. He's not throwing 25% into United for no reason at all. I don't understand why he's only bought 25% of the club. If he was serious, he would have been 100%. I don't see him having an impact with just 25%. I think the 25%, Henry's probably just a starting point. And I think financially, my belief has been all along that the Glazers don't want to sell the club. I firmly believe that. And if it was me, I wouldn't want to sell it either. I've said this before. Brands like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Man United, that are global brands that only come up in a generational situation, that are for sale. And you can see the way football is going. You can see the way things are evolving, bigger deals, bigger broadcasting rights, all this kind of stuff. Man United within 5 years, I firmly believe, will be probably worth somewhere between 8 to 10 billion at that stage. And that's the way football is going. It's getting massive.
And the other thing I would say is, depending on how well Ratcliffe does the job here, that might make getting, any more percentages out of the Glazers either more difficult or a lot easier. If we languish, it will be easier. If we strive under his leadership from the footballing side of things, why would the Glazers sell? Why would that sale make sense? If you've got a guy like
everyone's a winner out. Everyone's a winner inside of the ownership.
Absolutely right.
Yeah,
you've got the guy calling the shots, who wants to call the shots, who owns 25%, and the Glazers still have a huge outlay of money there, and they're still able to take out their money and their dividends and stuff like that, and everyone's happy.
You don't tell Qatar to go home with their 6 billion unless you have a very good plan in place. That's for sure. Glazers if Glazers decide that they want a full sale now, they will have to pay 600 million pounds. Insane figures. That's 600 million extra, Acers. I seen that on the share price. On the share price.
Great save from Alphonse Areola. That's his third or fourth save this evening. Ball in Odegaard. Trossard kills it on the bottom of his studs, creates a bit of space for himself, lets fly, and Areola blocks it to keep it at 2-0.
What do you make of the Chelsea situation at the moment? Poch coming out crying, saying he needs more money. That's the solution. What's your thoughts on at the moment? Chelsea apparently lining up a bit of an exodus in the January window. I'm surprised to hear that Conor Gallagher potentially is on the list as well. It
was something I heard the other night as I watched the game, and I heard, Gallagher's one of the guys on the chopping block, and you're like, he's wearing the armband. Surely, if he's wearing the armband, he's a little more thought of than, to be leaving the building. But by the sound
I suppose he's wearing it because of Reece James with the injuries. Because
if he's still not a guy like who's at the club, if he's still not a guy who's going to stay at the club, why would you give him the band? If that's the case, you look to a Thiago Silva, look to a Badia Schiller or a Disasi, look to an Enzo Fernandez, a Moise Caicedo. There's 10 other lads you could give it to, especially if Gallagher's going to leave the exit stage left, so to speak. So I was a bit surprised at that, if I'm honest. I was a bit surprised to hear that. Chalobah doesn't surprise me. I know Bayern were kind of sniffing around just before the injury and stuff like that. I believe Thomas Tuchel's a big fan of his. And whether Bayern are going to let Tuchel go and make a big decision like that, with the way they have been playing and stuff like that, I don't know whether he's concrete safe at Bayern at the minute himself. Broja, I think, he's struggled for game time and fitness, and I think he needs to play games. I think Broja I still think he could be a great fit somewhere. I think he just needs games, and he needs to be given a chance like all strikers to score goals and build confidence. But I think if I seen a Broja, in a West Ham team as their 9, if I seen Broja in an Everton as their 9, if I seen Broja somewhere like that at a Crystal Palace, there's 3 clubs straight away who could make really good use of an Armando Broja. Gotta say, really good use.
Yeah, he was good at what was it, Southampton, wasn't he?
Southampton. He was tops
Yeah,
at Southampton. He was very, very
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
The
last two,
boy Matson and Sarr. I think Matson's played a little bit this year, so
Yeah.
that was a surprise to me.
he was flagged as the next big thing for Chelsea, wasn't he, Maatson? I believe.
Yeah, that's right. And they turned down big money from Burnley from as well, didn't they?
Yeah, did you see the Malang
Burnley had
Sarr
him
one?
there.
The Malang Sarr one. He's not even registered for the Premier League, and he's on
That's right.
100 grand a week apparently.
Crazy.
Madness, isn't
Crazy.
it?
But listen, it's not like we didn't call this on Chelsea.
No. How do you feel this is how is this gonna wind out? Is this gonna eventually be Poch out the door? Are they gonna reset again, or what do you think is gonna happen?
No, I don't think so. I think you've got to give him the season, haven't you? I think you've got. Excuse me. I think you've got to give him the season, and I think you've got to give him, maybe a couple more changes in the squad. I still don't think the Chelsea squad is great, considering what they've spent. Like, if I've spent what Chelsea have spent, I want my squad to be watertight from top to bottom. There's still a lot of spots and holes in that Chelsea squad for me. A lot of it. And that's difficult as a manager then. If you want to play a certain way and you have, say, one player that plays on one side, but you don't have a backup. Or if you have a player that plays on the other side, and again, you don't have a backup, or you're overloaded with 3 players who can play on this position and you've got nobody who can play in the opposite position, it's very tough because you can't play the style you want to play then. It becomes very difficult, And I think that, for me, is what's happening at Chelsea at the minute. Because there's a huge playing staff, everybody thinks there's always, a square peg for square hole, but there's not. Because don't forget, a lot of the signings were made by a guy who was never going to pick the team week to week.
Yeah, I think it's what would frustrate me if I was a Chelsea fan, and it kind of nearly frustrates me sitting on the outside even at times, is there's so much chopping and changing. And I said it the other night, I think even in our WhatsApp group, I said he's only short of asking an outfield player to throw on a set of goalie gloves at this stage with the amount of different changes he makes. And that's definitely not a great recipe. What else did I want to talk about? Yes, this one. We all need to start packing our suitcases, folks, because we're all going on the Neymar cruise. I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen this?
I didn't see this.
This boy, during his downtime, we know he's injured and he's out at the moment. He's putting on cruises a la Chris Jericho. And there's going to be footballers on it. There's going to be parties on it. There's going to be concerts. There's going to be famous people. There's going to be all that stuff. So I read down through all that first, and there's everything on this cruise that you want. You're going to be mixing with Neymar, all that kind of thing. So I was thinking, this is going to be a serious chunk of change to get on this boat. But then when I went down, and it looks like the cost is going to be anywhere between 869 all the way to 5,212, which I thought is probably reasonably priced. It's not bad.
It's not that bad.
Compared to what I thought it was going to be. Now, I'm assuming the 869 is you get the privilege of carrying everyone else's bag onto the boat, maybe, or something like that.
Possibly.
That's what I'd imagine. That one is right in the bells of the gallows.
You're serving gelatine in the cafeteria. Get in. Oh, what a ball that is. But Arsenal are still probing here. They've just made a change. They brought on Smith Rowe for Trossard. Odegaard picks the ball up about 35 yards from goal on the angle and plays a beautiful floated ball to the back stick. The boy Smith Rowe, who's just come on for Trossard, finds himself completely unmarked, and as he goes to head the ball, he closes his eyes and misses it completely. Oh, God. And it's a great ball in from Odegaard.
I had a look at a video today. They showed a video of the cruise ship, and it's absolutely sensational. I have to say, it looks sensational. But all cruise ships do, of course.
Looks well in the gear, doesn't he? In fairness to him,
he does, yeah. And that's actually, if I take this Commodore for a second, actually, it's Nay Alto Mar, which means Nay on the high seas. That's what they've called it, and I think that's the name of the boat and the cruise.
Pretty good.
But it's I could see people jumping on it. This going to be busy. It's going to be busy. So pack your cases, folks.
Absolutely.
Ronaldinho will be causing mayhem. Ronaldinho, imagine. Good Lord. But I seen it today and I thought, this is quality. Fair play to him. Right, let's have a quick look at the AFCON. Now we're probably going to have to go full screen for this because in order for our mince pies to see it, you can let us know. We'll come back to your comments later on, folks. But this is the listing at the moment. So if you start, you're looking at Arsenal there, El Neni, Thomas Partey, and Tommy Yatsu. Because remember, we're not just talking about the AFCON, Darren. We're also talking about the Asia Cup as well. So the likes of Son is going off, with Wendo's going off.
Wow.
It's
I
all on
didn't
it.
realise
Yeah.
the Asia Cup was on at the same time. That's a penalty. That's a penalty.
There's literally a day either side in the difference between the two. One starts on the 13th and finishes on the 14th, and one starts on the 12th.
Hang on, this is a stonewall penalty
for
Arsenal. No, he's played on. Hang on, is he stopping it? He's stopping it. We're stopping it. We're looking back. The ball is played in to Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah is backing into Ogbonna. Nketiah plays a little soft touch to Saka, and Saka steps into the box with the ball. And the boy, Ogbonna, reaches with his right leg and looks like he's not. He looks for all the money in the world like he stood on his foot. He hasn't stood on his foot, and Saka's gone down. Now, at the time, I bought it. It was 100% a penalty. As it shows now, there's no contact, and it's a really clever dive from Saka. He ain't getting the penalty, but he's not going to get the yellow either. And it's play on 2-0.
That's what always annoys me. I want to draw your attention on this list. Obviously, it's quite big and stuff like that, you know. We spoke about Brentford earlier. Look at Brentford and who Brentford are losing. Visa, Mbuemo, Onyeki, and Godas.
And Sammy Godas. Yeah.
Huge.
That's huge.
For Brentford.
Huge.
Hence earlier I was talking about Thomas Frank.
Here's something I would say, though. Depending on your team, right? Because, okay, let's look at Aston Villa here. They only lose one player, and he's not a guy that plays week to week, so it's not huge for them. Visa and Mbuemo are always involved, and Godas and Nyenke are pretty much week to week on the bench with a view to maybe coming on and getting something right. So that's tough. You look at Abdoulaye Doucouré and Idrissa Gueye at Everton. They're two starters week to week at Everton. They're two of your starting 11. Mo is obviously coming out. We've got probably Onana and Amrabat, who are two of our starters week to week, with Diallo and Hannibal possibly coming off the bench. City have nobody. And they're going to have Haaland and KDB back. Newcastle lose nobody. Now, Nuno Espirito Santo. This is a list. Sergio Aurier, Willy Bowley, Sangare, Chekuyate, Musa Niakate, Ola Aina, Emmanuel Denise, and Awonyi.
Wow.
That is half your squad.
Slaughterhouse. Look at Palace. Check the Corey, Jordan Ayew, and Jeffrey Schlupp.
You know who actually has a pretty rough one as well? West Ham. Side Ben Rama, Mohamed Kudus, who's been amazing, phenomenal. Maxwell Cornet and the boy Agard, who I spoke about being a very, very good centre back recently. Yeah. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, and then you've got
anybody
Wolves.
else
Look
getting
at Wolves.
really banged with a stick. Wolves are missing Aït-Nouri, Traore, and Chan. That's right. That's another big loss. It's tough. It's tough. It really is.
Yeah.
I
find
Brighton, Simon Adingra, Tarek Lamptey, Kucheni, and Matoma. Like that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's some of them are getting hit really bad, and it's like, you know, we're losing obviously Salah and Endo. I think we can live with Endo.
Do we think, from a recruitment point of view, Manchester City have not bought players from Africa or Asia, and the same with Newcastle, on the basis of this, that their continental competitions happen mid-season?
Yeah, well, this is when they tend to make their move as well if they're a little bit behind. Remember, but
Yeah,
I think it's a good point actually because the conversation came up today that if United knew about Onana and Cameroon, was that the right move to make? Now, I mean, there's other factors whether it was the right move to make or not with the hay and stuff like that. No, but that was a conversation I seen today on one of the creators about Onana. If you knew about this, why were you shipping 50 million on a keeper who you knew you were going to lose? For that month now. Obviously, you wouldn't have known how Onana was going to pan out beforehand and the troubles he has
no, and
had
at that
so
stage,
far. So,
don't forget, he's very much out of favour at Cameroon. He'd had a huge blowout with Rigobert Song, and he
that's
wasn't
right.
on the way back in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So there might
yeah,
have been the thought might have been, well, we're not going to lose this guy for internationals either, which would have been ideal. I think now, obviously, when you realise
yeah.
you're going to miss out on a guy for internationals, it's one
Mm.
thing. But when it's internationals from Africa and then you've got AFCON in the middle of it, it
Yeah,
makes life very, very difficult, you know.
Tottenham's a tough one, isn't it, as well? Sarr, Basuma, and Son.
Well, so far this season, Basuma and Sarah have been the two starting centre midfielders, right? And then you've Son, who's your best player. You're taking your midfield and your best player out of your team.
Mm.
That's tough. That's real tough.
Yeah. So it's
You
gonna
know,
it's gonna it's gonna be interesting over the course of
it's gonna be
January.
huge
There's
impact.
there's your dates
Huge
down the
impact.
bottom there. So you've got the AFCON starting on the 13th and finishing on the 11th of February, and
Mhm.
you've got the Asian Cup. I think starts on the 12th. And finishes on, I think it finishes on the 11th or something like
The
that. There's a
10th.
day in
The 10th it
10th,
says there,
sorry,
yeah.
and it finishes on the 10th and starts on the 12th. So,
Mm.
slight little variation compared to the two, but both running parallel as well, which is very, very tough. I'll just get back into some comments
Well,
here. So,
the two group stages both finish on the say 24th and 25th of January. If you take into account that the lads are going to head off, worst case or best case scenario, they're gone for 3 weeks. Best case.
yeah, absolutely. I'd like it back
That's
to
that's not good, is it?
no, not at all.
Sorry, Arsenal fans leaving the Emirates in their droves.
So
This
there
is
should be.
gonna be another call for a striker. This is going to be the same call as we've had a few times at Arsenal, where how are we going to win games if we don't have a recognised striker? And this is where they've missed, dare I say it, an Ivan Tony.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think
Yeah.
if
Now,
you've a Tony tonight, you might get something out of this. But I think you've too many guys here that do. Oh, good save. Ariola's going to get probably man of the match and the bonuses for anyone that plays fancy football, I would imagine, because I think
absolutely.
by my count, that's about his fifth or sixth save. They haven't all been spectacular, but he's proved very efficient tonight. Yeah, he is now. Ariola's now on 8 points in fancy football. The unfortunate part about that is I have both goalkeepers. I've Raya and I've Ariola, and I played Raya in my starting team, and I put Ariola on the bench. Ariola's got 2 for the minutes played, 2 for saves. He's made 7 saves and 4
Yeah.
for the clean sheet. So he's got 8. And if I'm right, he's actually looking to get 2 bonus points as well. So it could be a 10-point haul for the boy Ariola unless Arsenal can score in the next couple of minutes.
Very good. Now, Henry, Mo should be all right because the Carabao Cup final is normally late February, not
Late
early
February, that's
February.
right. Round about the 24th, 25th.
So
Depending on the weekend.
Eddie and Kedia is garbage. Absolute. Nigel, I think we'll be fine without Mo for a few games. Jota's starting to look like the real deal, but we must much have an A+ penalty taker. Absolutely. March, I think, Henry. Yeah, no, it's normally either late February, early March, normally for that one. Arsenal supporters, yeah, and Noise just saying Arsenal supporters leaving the ground.
Ariola again. What a save that is. Odegaard picks the ball up about 35 yards from goal, takes a touch to get it outside his feet. So he's probably just inside 30 yards, left fly on his left peg, and Ariola goes across the goal and touches it round the post.
5 minutes added on.
Edge of the box, who's that? Oh, Reece Nelson fell to him on the edge of the box, took a touch, get it out of his feet, hit it with his left foot, skied it over the crossbar. Arsenal in bad need of goals or a striker here for me, I have to be honest with you. person
Yeah.
was on the game. Sounds great. Yeah. Tim Jurgen.
Love it, Nigel. 5 minutes injury time, yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
We didn't get to do the half term reports. We'll come back to them and we'll do them at a different stage, I suppose.
I hold
Um,
my hand up for that one. It was my watch along, I
no,
think.
no problem at all. That's all good. It's so long as it's entertaining, that's all that counts.
Good.
Give us your do you want to go through your bets?
Sure will. I got two here for you. Did we have a winner recently, Niall?
We did. I had a winner last week. My goal scorer bet came up last week. I think it was 89-1, 89.75-1 or something like that. Not only that, Darren, I gave the kids went to Leopardstown on St. Stephen's Day. And I hadn't looked at the horses in a while, and I picked out 6. And I had 3 winners. A 3-1, a 6-1, and a 12-1. And the 12-1
Lovely.
winner, Darren, came off the last bend and he was last. And he went from last to first. A horse called
Lovely.
Attaboy Charlie. So the kids won a
And
load of money
the
up at
lads
Leopardstown to pay
they
for the
did
day.
lovely. That's what I wanted to hear.
No, they did, yeah. They were on it. They were video calling me and all. They couldn't believe it. There you go. So, and I was delighted. Didn't get anything out of it, though, funny enough. Wasn't offered that.
Funnily enough, huh? Imagine that.
Yeah.
Us
Funny
parents
enough.
being overlooked. Weird,
That's
isn't it?
it. Surprise,
Right.
surprise, as they say, Silla.
Will we, since you had a winner with the anytime goal scorer, will I show you my attempt for the weekend?
Goal scorer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start with the goal scorer once, then they're always fun.
Okay, goal scorers, we're gonna go Christopher Nkunku with Chelsea versus Luton.
Nice.
I think he's looked lively since he's come in for after the injury. Obviously, he
Huge.
scored the goal and stuff like that against Wolves, but it looks very, very lively. I think he'll be a huge addition there.
Yeah, I watched him in the Chelsea team the other night, and he's a level above what he's playing with, isn't he? He looks a level above it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure is. And this is a guy, don't forget, we talked about him a lot before he came in. I was really, really hopeful that we were going to get this kid. And then Chelsea stitched the deal up behind everyone's back. It was a little bit almost, dare I say it, Russian-like, but listen, we'll move past that. Christopher Nkunku is my first anytime goal scorer. I'm going to put him in with the boy Julian Alvarez because, again, Alvarez is the figurehead at the minute with Haaland not being there. And I'm going to put Alvarez in. City are home against Sheffield United. I believe there will be opportunities, and I think Alvarez will take one. My third goal scorer is a man who I back quite regularly to score, and hasn't done so in a couple of games. So I kind of think he's due a goal. Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa. And then I have one more. Now my last one, I think, is going to surprise you somewhat. When you hear the name, not that he's not a big name, but maybe he hasn't had the form of late. So it's one Marcus Rashford. And I don't know if you saw much of the United game the other night, but it was a much improved Marcus Rashford performance until he went off. It was the best Marcus Rashford performance we've seen in a long time. Excuse me, in a Man United jersey. Very direct, head up, looking to create. I thought he was excellent, without kind of getting the getting on the score sheet and stuff like that. So I think Rashford is this
Penalty to West Ham,
penalty
is
to
it?
West Ham.
Pardon Henry. Rice
It
gave
is.
away a penalty.
It's Declan Rice with a trip on.
We couldn't
I
have
don't
picked
know
a
who's
better
it on.
night, could we? Couldn't have picked a better night.
This is about to be 3-0. This is Said Ben Rama has the ball in his hands. His last 5 penalties he has scored. He's gone twice to the right, once to the left, and 2 down the middle. David Raya, you can really help me here. If Raya saves this, I get 5 bonus points of fantasy. This could help me tonight. Come on, David. Do it, Timmy, baby.
According to Nigel, you're going to get what you want.
He saved it! Yeah!
2-0 full time
Yeah!
score according to Acers.
Gets in! Oh, David Reyes saves the penalty and scores me 5 points in fantasy football, you little
There you
dancer.
go. At least you got
What?
something there that says you. So
Well,
what
it's the
was
difference.
go on,
The
yeah?
difference between the keeper who just won the game 2-0, he got 10 points, and the keeper who just lost the game 2-0 is only now 3 points because of the saves. Whoop.
Okay.
I don't feel so hard done by.
Teachers, Moyes bullied Arteta student. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he
Love
sure did.
that.
Arteta looks very, very sheepish coming on. Now he's headed towards the referee.
It's because he's after lawyering up.
No,
He's no
he's
fear
walked
any
straight
morning.
over.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
after
He's
walking
lawyering
straight
up.
over to the referee. No. He's gone straight over to them, right? And he's high-fived all three of them and walked off. Not said a word, but not in a. He's not been pissy about it. He doesn't look like he holds anything on the ref. He's just gone over, patted the lads on the back, and headed off in the other direction. So
Yeah, do you know what that is? He probably got the bill in from the last legal advice, and he said, "I'm not going through that again."
maybe.
Maybe that's it.
My
What was your
my
goal scorer
goal
worth?
scorer
Sorry, yeah,
25-1.
not bad.
So it's Watkins at home against Burnley, Alvarez at home against Sheffield United, it's Nkunku away against Luton, and it's Rashford away against Forest. 25-1. Here's hoping, Noel.
Absolutely. I'll give you my goal scorer one then before you give me your second one. So
Absolutely.
I agreed with John Ollie Watkins
Lovely.
against Burnley. I went with Anthony Elanga against United because it tends to happen.
Ex-players, absolutely.
Yeah. And Anthony Elanga anytime, folks, is 7-2 on his own to anytime score, which I think is a great price. I went with Son off Spurs because I expect Son to sign off with a goal because he's heading off to the Asia Cup then after that game. And I did the same with Mo Salah. Mo Salah to get his 150th against Newcastle and sign off to the AFCON. And the four of those will get you 34-1.
Nice.
Not too bad. Not too
Absolutely.
bad. And not a stretch. Alanga's the big one in it, of course, but you know how they always come back to haunt their old teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Give us your other one.
My second one is my favourite bet. It's result and bout to score. Now, this might sound like a bit of a stretch after what just happened. I've gone Arsenal and bout to score.
Okay.
Excuse me. I've gone Villa and bout to score against Burnley.
Yeah, straight after the Newcastle game.
Palace and bout to score against Brentford. So that's Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Palace all to win, and both teams to score. And that comes in at 48-1.
Nice. Not too bad. I have an outrageous one here for you. You can see, can you guess the odds? I went back to my draw bet, feeling good after last week's win, you know.
Right.
Don't know why. So I went with my first draw is Luton versus Chelsea. The draw.
More than plausible, I would say.
Palace versus Brentford. To draw.
I think that's another good show. Yeah.
Wolves versus Everton, which I think, did we call a draw in the preview?
We did, and you're going to round up with Spurs and Bournemouth, right?
I'm not. I'm going with Forest and United to round it out with a draw. What?
Fuck you.
But they're the four that I put in there. Do you want the odds?
Do I want the odds?
Or would you like to guess?
180-1.
140-1.
Yeah.
Not too bad. The United one might be a little bit iffy. The others, I think, are pretty plausible, to be honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everton definitely beat Spurs based on the last game versus City. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
They're playing well, though. Very,
Yeah.
very well.
So that's it. That's our bets. I hope everyone has a lovely new year. I will be back tomorrow night. I have to do a Liverpool Newcastle preview. I might have the very good John Sinclair might be on with me to do that preview. He's a huge Newcastle fan, of course, follows them up and down the length and breadth of the country and even into Europe and everything. So look forward to hopefully having John on. He's an absolute stellar dude. But until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. The next time me and Darren will be talking to you will be 2024.
I do have 2 quick questions.
Okay.
Just 2. So my first question is, has Ian now signed the petition against 12:30 kickoffs? Because obviously Chelsea have the next 2. They're away at Luton, and then they're away at, or then they're home versus Fulham at 12:30 the next 2 Saturdays in a row. So do Chelsea now have to get a bit salty with the reporters the way Jurgen does, or how's that?
Oh, well, let's be honest here now. There's no comparison. You know, we got the Brentford one coming up in February.
I did see that. I did see, and I love that kind of shit. I've got to be honest with you.
Is that 16 or 17 at this stage now? You know, Chelsea aren't even in our realm of giving out about this kind of thing at this stage.
Well, I got to say it's shithousery the highest order, if I'm honest now. And then my second question was, is the mashup back on Monday night because it's New Year's Day?
No, the mashup won't be on Monday night for New Year's Day.
Very
Absolutely not. So the mashup will be back the following week. We will be back Thursday. Is it the 4th? Either the 4th or the 5th, I think it is. Whatever it is.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah, we don't miss out. The match won't be on New Year's.
The match, perfect. So then we're back on the 4th because Monday's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Yeah.
We're back for Thursday tier talk.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be FA. That's FA Cup as well, is it? Weekend.
It might be FA Cup weekend.
I think it's FA Cup
probably means it might be a decent time to do our AFCON rundown as well. We could maybe split the show in 2.
Yeah, we can split the show and do an AFCON rundown. Yeah, because I think the AFCON starts that weekend, doesn't it? I think it kicks off.
Yeah, so we could have a look at groups and stuff like that, and we could have a look at, probable winners, dark horses, pardon the pun, and a few other bits and pieces.
Brush off our Burkina Faso jerseys. Decorate the place in yellow and orange and all those beautiful bright colours that you see at those matches.
We stop in Cheshire Oaks quite a bit, and there's a Puma outlet. And Puma seem to make a lot of jerseys for the AFCON for some reason. And I know Andrew always nips in and gets himself a jersey or 2 even at times. I'm trying to think who he has. He's definitely got an Egypt. He's definitely got an Egyptian jersey. And he's definitely got an Ivory Coast one as well. The 2 Puma ones. So
not a bad choice.
I'm not sure if his jerseys would fit us unless we'd like to wear them on our elbows. But sure, you never know, just for the night it's in it and all that.
I'm thinking I'd be wearing them as a snood.
Possibly. Yeah. Elbow pads.
Yeah. Us versus Arsenal Sunday week. Yeah, no, that'll be interesting. That's coming up as well. Looking forward to that. FA Cup. That's what we want to hear. I love the FA Cup. Yes, we've got a good month coming up. We got FA Cup, we got Carabao Cup semi-finals coming up. We've got the AFCON, then it won't be just a few weeks away then from Europe resuming again as well. So it's interesting. I'm getting my supermarket shop delivery tomorrow, and Keogh's Irish Crisp is now a weekly purchase. I like that, Nigel. Good shout.
Absolutely.
Good shout. Yeah.
Not made too far away from me now, out in Donabate and Portrane out there.
There you go. What's he going for? The cheese and onion. I do like.
You want to dabble in the old sea salt and balsamic vinegar.
That's the one I had it the other day when I was up in Avoca. We were having lunch up there, and it was really, really nice. The only thing I find about the Keogh's Crisp as well is if your bite is slightly off, they can slice the palate off the top of your mouth pretty handy, like a Stanley knife. I don't know if you've experienced that before. If the crisp kind of miss the teeth and goes up there, you can slice yourself up there with those
That's
cows, Chris.
funny.
Definitely worth it. I wouldn't be using
That's funny.
cows, Chris, now for a Chris sandwich. It'd be a bit
No,
iffy now.
no.
But yeah, very, very nice. Really, really nice. Don't tell Dazzler about the rumble. There you go. There you go. See the leak for the rumble?
No.
Apparently
Oh,
they
I did see a leaked run sheet, which was the biggest load of shite I've ever seen in my life.
that was my
So,
thinking. So I didn't get into it last night on the show when we were
yeah,
doing
no,
it.
no, 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 no.
Sea salt and
Yeah, you
vinegar
like
is
them, Nige. You
awesome.
like them.
There's
Yeah,
another one as well. What's
100%.
the other one? Is there a red cheddar or something like that? A red cheddar and onion or something like that? Or it's the cheese and onion.
Um,
They've a cheese and onion, but they've also another pack which is a red cheddar. It's a mature cheddar and onion as well, which is really, really nice. So yeah, and there you go.
they
Anxious
don't do
topping it off
bog
with the sour
standards. They
cream.
only do the good stuff, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever drives the highest price. It's still just a normal packet of crisps at the end of the day, but you're paying for it. Well, folks, until next time, have a very safe new year. You'll hear from me tomorrow for Liverpool versus Newcastle. Hopefully, John will be on with me and we'll have a chat about Newcastle and what's going on there. Get the insight from John. We'll probably try and fit in a match reaction at some stage after the game as well. And then we will be back Wednesday with Pro Wrestling Weekly. We'll be back on the news front and all that kind of stuff again. And Thursday Tier Talk, we'll be back. Probably an FA Cup preview and all that kind of good stuff. And interesting doing a bet in the FA Cup as well. For Beat the Bookie as well is always a very interesting one to pull off. But until next, go on.
I've just had a thought.
Go on.
1, 2, 3, oh, fuck. Jeez, it's not good, that, is it?
What?
Would you like to see my starting midfield this week in fantasy football? Now, I'll be showing you this for a particular reason.
You'll have to call it out because I can't see.
You see it?
See one
Chan.
injured. Yeah.
Chan.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Salah and
Yeah.
Son. All 4 of them off to the AFCON and the Asia Games.
But they're okay for this week.
Yeah, but the week after that, they're not. And I'll have to make 4 bleeding substitutions, and it's going to cost me. What's that going to cost me in points?
Hey, it is what it is. And then when they come back, you'll have to put them back in.
I'm still competitive in this game, Niall. I know you're not, but I'm still hanging in here.
I love the competitive nature of it and all, and the way people talk about it, like they're actually managing these teams and there's money on the line, proper money.
Jeez, there's always money on the line. You have to buy into the cash leagues. We know absolutely. A couple of boys who run cash leagues now, don't we?
We do. There's 1 or 2 of
them. Set themselves
right?
up for a good summer holiday before they.
Right. Well, until next time, folks, enjoy your New Year's. Have a safe weekend as always. And we will talk to you again real soon. Cheers, bro.
Thanks, pal.